Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new episode of the ME Show. My name is Ali Midawi, and we are here in the ME studios with a gentleman that you're going to fall in love with. His heart, his spirit, his mindset, and his mission is absolutely fascinating. Let me put it like this. In many cases, when you and I have any issues, challenges, or we are dealing with a first a responder needed situation. I know I've dealt with Hurricane Sandy in the past. I know that many have dealt with hurricanes over the last few years, earthquakes, and even across the world with our military men and women. And they always are there doing heroic things. But here's the question: who is there for them? In many cases, I know for a fact that I've encountered and I've seen traveling the country many, many times that you hear veterans who are homeless, veterans who are dealing with addiction, veterans who are dealing with PTSD, and many other issues. This gentleman that you're going to be hearing from today is truly an angel walking amongst us on earth because he is dedicating his life to take care of those very same first responders and veterans to make sure that none of them would ever go without having assistance, without having help, to make sure he obliterates addiction and homelessness amongst these very same heroes. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the very first time, we have the one and only Rodney Cole. What is going on, boss? How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How's everybody in your world doing today?
Amazing. Thank God. First and foremost, thank you so much for gracing us. I know we've been going back and forth trying to find the best time and the best service, to say the least, because you are always on the road, dedicating day in and day out, doing what you do for Pay It Forward Network. And before we dive into the mission and what you are doing on a daily basis and the many people that you inspire, I'd love to hear a little bit about your background. What have you done by trade, and how did we get to where you are today?
My trade is I'm a lineman. I bring power to everybody, and that's what I've done all my life. And go back to the beginning when I started this a couple years ago. It was a vision I've had for a long, 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 long time. I wasn't able to, first off, we get it out there. I wasn't able to join the military. My grandmother raised me, and the day we were going to the recruiting office, we were notified that my uncle was in Vietnam. He was a Marine, or is still a Marine, was shot down. He was on a Chinook team, and he was shot down, MIA. So she looked at me and said, "You're not going." She said, "As long as I'm alive, I don't want you signing up for the military." So I gave her my word. So my grandfather was in the Army. My biological father was in the Navy and Marines. Um, my adopted dad that adopted me when I was younger was in the Navy. His father was in the Navy, and then my uncle was in the Marines. So I come from a long line of a military background, military family, raised military my whole life, and yeah, that's where we got today. Is I wanted to do something, and what could I do? Seeing as how I gave my grandmother my word, I wouldn't join until she passed away, and well, by the time she passed away, I was well into family life. I came up with this idea, and so far it's been working pretty well.
I hear you on that, and that is the an exemplary way of showcasing to the world. You might not be active in the armed services, but you can do your part. You can support. You can help. And what a fascinating transition. And by the way, integrity at its finest. You were able to maintain the word that you've given to grandma, and at the same exact time, you're doing your part. So you're always on the road. How are those roads treating you, and how far do you drive? Talk to me about a day in the life of Rodney Cole.
Well, it depends on the day, the week, and of the month, and the mission that we're doing. Um, on average, the last trip we did um, was about 5,000 miles in 4 weeks,
Wow,
delivering items and things like that, campers and stuff on our current mission.
that is phenomenal. And you yourself is essentially picking up and dropping off tools and essentials, or how does the whole process work? I mean, because I know many times I talk to you and you're like, "Hey, I'm loading up a truck. I'll talk to you," and then later on, it's a pickup truck, and then it's always something. So how do you go about doing what you're doing? What are the mechanics looking like, if you will?
People come to us that want to donate product. meaning whatever we're looking for at the time. I keep people updated via social media, and I update the website as often as I can when I have service to do so. I'm not a phone guy, so I have to have my computer to do that. And they donate it. I go pick it up, or we go pick it up. I'm working with an organization in North Carolina for this particular mission, um, and we distribute it to the people that are in need of the items. And right now, it's winter jackets and campers is our focus right now. And we just started. We just announced 2 days ago we're doing a toy drive for this particular area of North Carolina as well. So it's going to be a full next 4 or 5 weeks.
All out. Yeah. So you focus also on disaster relief, and at the same exact time, you have a veterans crisis hotline. Talk to me about those two sides of the organization.
But our main focus is our veterans and our first responders. So if anyone um, comes to us in need, they click on our website and they need to talk to someone. That's a national number. It's you can look it up on Google. It's there for everyone to use if they have a suicide situation or an addiction situation. They can reach out to those people. If they have reached out to them and they want to get clean, they can reach out to us and we can put them in in touch with the right organizations to take them in short term, long term to try and beat their addiction. And if they're homeless and living on the street, well, that part's a little harder for them to reach out to us via the internet. Most of them don't have a phone, or if they do, it's sporadic. So
Let's
we
go.
actively go out into the community and seek those individuals out. And that's a little tougher than it sounds, I promise you, because a lot of times those guys are always on the defensive, guys and gals. So you have to approach them with respect, number one, because they have the ultimate respect. And then you find out their situation, and then you react and act accordingly based on what their needs are.
Yeah. Do you have firsthand contact with some of these individuals, or are you just kind of facilitating the connection point between the therapeutical centers and the patient, or do you actually reach out and interact and communicate?
We actively reach out if the need is there. We will go out and actively um, contact these folks. Like as soon as this mission is done here, which is going to probably be a long while, we're going to go out into the community and we're going to start in Florida primarily and reach out and try and find the veterans that are out there um, and try and get them somewhere to live other
Yeah,
than a tent or a cardboard box because they're worth way more than that. I mean,
absolutely. Especially the sacrifices that they've made, when it comes to veterans specifically, it's gotta be impactful. I mean, seeing somebody going through what they're going through. I mean, talk to me about, how do you keep it together? I know myself. An emotional wreck. If I'm in a circumstance, like, how do you stay focused, or do you feel like you find sometimes in a situation where your heart is beating for somebody and you feel like emotionally connected through that journey of the individual? And if so, talk to me about some of the best, transformational experiences that you've seen and witnessed.
uh, for me, the first part of that is how do I deal with it? Basically, I think is what you asked me. Is
Yeah.
it has to be my background, my upbringing. Raised in the military, you have a heart, but you don't wear it on your sleeve.
Mm.
Um, you decompress when you get home, and you deal with things accordingly. And that's how I do that. And I'm not the panic type person. I don't panic in any situation. In the faces, with death right in front of me and people dying in front of me, you don't panic. You have to maintain control of the situation and keep everybody else calm. And that's what we do when we go out and we contact these veterans and first responders. Is you have to remain calm because they're already not calm.
Yeah, yeah, I could only imagine. I've seen firsthand family members who dealt with addiction, with PTSD, and I already know, like, if there's an ounce of feeling that, hey, you're judging me, it never goes out well. No matter how much you try to do damage control afterwards, it's usually a scary circumstance and conversation. How many people would you say, if you were that kind of went through this mission, people that you've helped and assisted overall?
Well, again, we just started out about a year and a half ago, and so far we've helped over 10 people.
That's
Um,
amazing.
and that's where we're at today. And we want to grow that to 10 people a day, to 100 people a day, as we grow the network and have the ability to do so. We'll travel anywhere.
Yeah,
Um, I don't fly, I drive. So if I'm coming to you, I'm going to be in a vehicle. I'm not flying.
yeah. You've dealt with a whole lot lately with the hurricanes and in the Carolinas, and I've seen a lot of videos, and I'm pretty sure our audience are seeing that in their screen right now. Talk to me about, first of all, how tough it was to see what you saw in the Carolinas, and at one point there was no help really, or if there was, it was very delayed and very minimal. Describe some of those circumstances when with which we're doing in the last couple of weeks in the Carolinas.
The last few weeks, things are getting a little better, but what I've seen up there to date is people helping people. There's been little, if any, depending on where you're at, outside assistance coming in other than from the people. And I believe that goes back to we the people. We will help each other in our time of need, and that's what you're getting right now in the Carolinas. The impact out there, when you see it firsthand, it's heartbreaking to say the least. Um, and when you see families living in tents that have been donated, otherwise they'd be just living on the ground. And I'm talking about moms, dads, kids, grandparents. You name it, they're out there. They're living in tents right now, and that's why we're doing this current mission, is to get these campers acquired, cleaned, inspected, and delivered. Uh, that's really about it.
Yeah, and we're gonna do our part. Obviously, make sure whomever is watching right now, go to that website that you're seeing in the screen right now, and make sure you do your part. Whether you can donate, whether you can sponsor, whether you can host an event, whether you can reach out to Mr. Cole himself and say, "Hey, I'm in this state. I can't do much, but what can I do in my neighborhood, in my town?" Is that something that you would consider, Mr. Cole?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
We have people. Um, I wouldn't say strategically placed. We just have people that are connected with us, um, in many states throughout the nation, that if something needs to happen, we can pretty much make it happen.
yeah, and we are committed to do our part as well. Hey, we're gonna take our first commercial break, and after we come back, we're gonna dive into some of the missions or some of the specific ways that any of us can help, and the way that we should be helping firsthand, especially where you are right now. So hang with us, and we'll be right back. Honor the heroes among us with the Pay It Forward Network. Pay It Forward Network is committed to making a difference in the lives of first responders and veterans who have selflessly served our communities and country. Your donation to Pay It Forward Network helps fund essential programs that provide support, resources, and opportunities for these brave individuals. From education scholarships to mental health services, your contribution empowers our heroes to build a brighter future. Join our movement of gratitude and compassion. Visit paidforwardnetwork.org to see how your support can make a lasting impact. Together, we can give back to those who have given so much. Pay it forward to a hero today. Visit paidforwardnetwork.org and see how you can help. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Ali Midawi, live from the ME studios with Mr. Rodney Cole, where we are bringing awareness to Pay It Forward Network. Make sure you visit payitforwardnetwork.org so you can see how you can help, and especially if you have that American heartbeat. One thing about what I love and I fell in love with about these United States of America is when it matters the most, we the people definitely come together. So, Mr. Rodney, obviously the obvious way that anybody from wherever they may be, they can help, just go to payforwardnetwork.org and obviously hit that donate button, and anything that we can help with, we should do. But how else can an individual assist and help? And, I'm sure there are creative ways that everybody can do a little bit, whether it's monetary or not.
Correct. There's lots of ways people can help, and if they're depending on where they're at in the country, there's organizations in your town. If they want to become involved after seeing this video, that's awesome. Reach out to some of those local organizations. Big Brothers Big Sisters is a big start. It starts with our children and how we bring them up into this world. But if they want to be a part of what we're doing, I'm actively connecting with other organizations throughout the country, and I've actually connected with an organization overseas that we're bringing on board as a partner. Hopefully, reach out to us on the website at the pretty much the bottom of every page. Again, I'm no tech guy. I built it the best I can. There is a little form that says send us more information. Put your name and your email address in there, and once we get the monthly newsletter going out, if you're on our email list, we'll be glad to keep you updated on what you can do and where you can do it and how you can do it. Other than that, go donate, visit the site, look at the videos I upload, and help us that way. And that's really about the only way to do it right now. As we grow, there will be other opportunities.
And make sure you also click on the link that we have in the copy with this episode, which leads also to a Facebook group that you've put together where you kind of keep everybody informed with, short videos and, real ground activity that you have happening. I know that you've mentioned at the beginning about, getting jackets right now and whatnot. How, if anybody has, is it just, like, is there specific requirements? Does it have to be brand new? Does it have to be specific sizes, or
Well,
can people give their own jackets if they are no longer using them? Talk to me about that.
absolutely, they can donate what they have. But here's what we've run into is when you tell people that, and I hate to say this, but they clean out what they don't want that's been in the closet for 10 years that smells like grandma's mothballs.
Yeah.
And we have to go through the process of taking them down to the dry cleaners, getting everything cleaned, and going through that. So if they want to donate used jackets or coats, that's awesome. Please spend the $3 or $4 and take them to the dry cleaner and get them cleaned, and then reach out to me, and we'll facilitate where to send them. If you're in Florida, we can pick them up. We can meet. We can work that out. If you're in Western North Carolina, we have a contact up there that can help, and that's not but just with coats. That's with anything that you have to donate. We can get it done that way.
And please, these individuals have literally put their lives on the line. So, as you've heard it already, three to $5, is definitely worth it, to make sure that they get something clean, and for the respect that it's. Hey, food, canned food, anything like that, or that's not an area that is.
Right now, the food is pretty much covered for the moment, but the needs change, and the organizations up there. I don't post what is needed. There's enough Facebook groups going around Western North Carolina right now that I don't need to post that. I don't need to waste my time doing that. If you want to know what's needed up there, click on these sites. They're there, and they'll keep everybody updated on what the needs are, the current needs. Right now, the main thing is shelter. And I don't want to, again, I'm going to go back to the children's toy drive that we're doing. Those are my two main focuses right now. There's so many other organizations throughout the country that are bringing in literally tens of thousands of dollars worth of items every day. They are a blessing from God for sure. Um, so we can stay in our lane, so to speak, and focus on what we need to focus on, and that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah. In terms of having individuals to help pickups, drop offs, is that something that the organization needs help with, or is pretty much covered for right now?
We could always use people that are willing, if they have a truck with a fifth wheel attachment in the back to haul campers. Please reach out. We can definitely use help with that. But as far as other needs, in the local areas up there, refer back to those same Facebook pages I was telling you about. They're all over the place. They're always needing volunteers because right now a lot of the volunteers want to go home for the holidays, and the volunteer numbers are dropping. So if you have the ability to go out and donate at these places, please do so. They're there and they'd love to have you.
Yeah. Yesterday we were in Baltimore with a client of ours. Their focus is it's a mental health organization, and they got therapists and psychiatrists and so on and so forth. And we were talking about opioids, and we were talking about drug addiction and alcohol addiction. And one of the mentors in there said, look, addiction is addiction. It could be video game, it could be cigarettes, it could be alcohol, it could be drugs. And he had mentioned that the number one reason people don't get help is because they feel like they're hopeless. They don't have anybody to help them. It's like, what's the point? What is your message for individuals who may be needing the help right now and they're afraid of the judgments, or they feel hopeless, like no one cares about me? How can they reach out, and what would you like them to hear from you?
I'd like them to hear that they're not hopeless. They're hopeful, and all they have to do is reach out. There are organizations other than this one that's out there for everyone. But if you need to reach out to us, email us, and and we will get back to you. We don't judge. God judges. We don't. Love thy neighbor as yourself. Um, so that's our motto, and we will do our best to get help to whoever needs it. Now, if it's a, uh, a suicide situation, call a suicide hotline. Go about it that way. That is the best way. They're trained in that. I am not trained in that, so I defer everyone to that suicide hotline if it's a suicide situation.
Do you or have you seen a lot of suicidal individuals? Or, I mean, is that common?
No, I wouldn't say it's common. They talk about it, and when they talk about it, you gotta know what to say to them. And then when we go out and do our missions, we try to take some type of counselor with us, and we let that counselor, who's a third party individual, even though they're connected to us, they're not directly connected, um, and they're working on their own dime as well. We let them talk to them because they're trained in that area.
As far as the organization itself, what would you say the biggest challenges that you have dealt with or are dealing with right now that we kind of all need to come in together as a community and tackle?
The challenge we face right now is monetarily being able to keep things moving for our veterans. Our goal is to create a veteran center here in North Florida to where veterans don't have to be homeless. If you're addicted, well, that's fine. We'll get you help for that too. And a lot of the organizations, if you come in and you have a drug problem, they kick you out. Well, that's not our goal. Our goal is to get you help. So you might only be with us for a short term and until you can go into a facility that can help you and get you clean. Because what we don't want to see is repeat customers. In the law enforcement end of it, they call it repeat offenders. We call it repeat customers. We want to get them clean, stay clean. And once they become clean, our goal is to get them a job and make them feel needed. Because that's the biggest thing that we're finding is people don't feel like they're needed, that they're wanted, that they're appreciated. So once they start to feel that, they tend to, forget about their addictions a little bit, and then with the help that they get, they can suppress it to where they can overcome it.
I see. Well, I'm glad that you're taking lead. Yeah, obviously it's obvious you're a man of faith. How much does faith play part in what you do on a day to day? Whether for you personally to maintain your sanity and your fortitude to keep doing what you're doing, but for everybody that you interact with.
Um, Faith is number one. Without a relationship with God, you're not going anywhere. Um, you know, spiritually, and that's what keeps me going on a day to day basis. Because I talk to the big man, and as long as I feel like he's directing me down the road I need to go down, I'll go down that road. I'll endure whatever comes my way, and deal with it as it comes.
I love that. Well, I love what you stand for. I love your mission. As you know, for we spoke offline, but we want to make sure that you know that as an organization, we want to do our part. So we're giving away a 4 night, 5 day vacations to Mexico, all inclusive, food, beverage, and stay for those who support. And we're gonna keep on doing that. So if you want to have a vacation of a lifetime, help a veteran, help a man or woman of service who have literally dedicated and risked their lives for your happiness and your freedom right now. So make sure that you go to paidforwardnetwork.org and do your part, whether you donate or whether you reach out to give anything that you can assist with, or even volunteer to help, or to organize an event, to organize a cooking event, to help an area that has individuals. I mean, for crying out loud, go to San Francisco and you see all the veterans that are unfortunately suffering and they're homeless. So there's a lot of work to be done. As they say, the harvest is plenty, but the workers are few.
You're right.
To say the least, right? Um, we want to make sure that we're doing everything that we can, and we're going to amplify this message. What would you like the world and whomever is watching this information to do firsthand, other than the donations and the volunteering? Do you want them to share this information? Do you want them to give away the website? What would they like, opt in into the newsletter? Like what would you like to see from the community as a whole, beside obviously the main thing, which is the donations?
I'd love to see them share our word and get it out there. And if you'd like to be connected with us and be a part of our network, reach out to me, because we're looking for people all the time, all over the place, to be a part of the network in all the states in the United States. That's what we're focused on right now. Like I said, we have a partner coming on overseas, because we still have veterans living overseas. They're not homeless, but they're still living overseas, and some of them, just need someone to talk to from time to time. So we're facilitating that. So just connect with us, and we'll make things happen.
Well, we're excited to be doing that. We're going to take one more break. When we come back, we're going to dive into who you are, because, the organization is just a reflection of your heartbeat. And I want to dive into that a little bit more. So stick with us. We'll be right back with Rodney Cole. Honor the heroes among us with the Pay It Forward Network. Pay It Forward Network is committed to making a difference in the lives of first responders and veterans who have selflessly served our communities and country. Your donation to Pay It Forward Network helps fund essential programs that provide support, resources, and opportunities for these brave individuals. From education, scholarships, to mental health services, your contribution empowers our heroes to build a brighter future. Join our movement of gratitude and compassion. Visit payitforwardnetwork.org to see how your support can make a lasting impact. Together, we can give back to those who have given so much. Pay it forward to a hero today. Visit payitforwardnetwork.org and see how you can help. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you visit that website that you just saw on your screen. My name is Ali Midawi. This is the ME Show, and I have the angel amongst us, Mr. Rodney Cole, who literally is dedicating his life day in and day out, hour by hour, thousands of miles at a time, to help servicemen and women and veterans who maybe dealt a bad hand. So I want to dive into you, sir. Tell me a little bit about your upcoming. Where were you born? How were you raised? Was the faith and God always a conversation in the household, or was there a moment that you've become the man that we are hearing and seeing today? Give me a little bit of that insight.
I was born in a small town in Indiana, and at somewhere around 2, 3 weeks old, I was taken to Florida, um, primarily raised by my grandparents. Uh, Went to live with my mother and my stepfather at around the start of high school. Finished high school with them. Um, Again, like we talked about earlier, my entire family is military. I was raised military. We didn't bounce around. They were all pretty much retired by the time I came into the picture, so there's no need to move around. Um, as far as my faith goes, my grandmother and I went to church from time to time. It wasn't a regular thing, but faith has always been with me my whole life. Um, I've witnessed many miracles in my life, and I know it was, at the hand of God that they took place. Amen. And I became more stronger in my faith in the last several years, um, and started doing more of what I felt I should be doing, which is God's work. A good friend of mine told me, I don't know, about 2 months ago, when all this started with the hurricane, 45 days, whatever it is. He goes, Rodney, remember one thing as you go forth in this mission to North Carolina. I said, what is that? And your mission with Pay It Forward Network in general. He goes, you can't outgive God. No matter how hard you try, you can't outgive God. I said, you're absolutely right. And, that's my new motto. You can't outgive God. So that's where we're at today. I mean, that's the short, down, and dirty.
I love that you can't outgive God. It's fascinating to me that a lot of times we try to find purpose, but then purpose finds us. And it seems that that's something that has happened to you. You could have been relaxing or doing anything else, but you actually chose to do this. I'm not even gonna lie to you. At one point, I was like, "I see, Pastor." I had this
No,
ideology that, yeah, no, that you made that clear. Yeah, I thought that you were just because of the way you carry yourself. And one of the things that I tell individuals all the time, like, you know. Uh, Act your faith. Don't tell me about it, right? Like there's a lot of people who are preachers and pastors, not necessarily officially in a church, but they're posting all day long about God, 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 which is phenomenal. I'm not knocking anybody's faith and passion about it, but you actually are acting your faith. You're showcasing, um, I love it. Just so you know, it's very rare when you see somebody who, like doesn't talk much, just goes out and do it every single day, and that is absolutely, what you are doing. Do you have family members who are involved with you? I know we want to give a shout out to Allison, but tell me a little bit about who else is involved from your close circle.
There, a good friend of mine, Buster, out in Missouri. He's one of the board members of Pay It Forward.
We love Buster.
My brother-in-law Randy down in South Florida. He is one of the board members on the board. Allison, she's on the board. Those are our four board members. Um, and I want to go back and say something, if I could, about
Yeah.
how others can help. It first starts with your heart. You got to want to help. And once you decide you want to help, you got to get up off the couch, put the
Mhm.
cell phone down, and go out and find ways to help. They're out there. There are people. Go coach a little league team. Go if you're good with dance or ballet. Go coach a group of little girls doing that, doing dance and ballet. Get involved that way, and you'll find that it'll probably be the most fulfilling thing you'll ever do. I coached girls fast pitch softball. Oh Lord, probably 13 to 15 years for my girls, and it was phenomenal. When I got into the organization, we had just enough girls to make a team, less one girl. We needed one more girl. And when I stepped down from that organization to pursue other things, we had over 150 girls in that organization.
Wow.
So it can be done if you put your heart to it and put your mind to it. You can do it.
Yeah, I genuinely believe it, and especially if it's community based, right? Like when you have individuals who collaborate and co-create, it's like, we call it staying close to the fire. When you're alone, you have these horrible thoughts of like, well, it doesn't matter if I clean up the road or I recycle, it doesn't really make that much of a difference, right? Or my vote doesn't really count. I'm only one person. But when you bring a lot of us together as a community, and especially with the core values that you've already instilled, faith, integrity, work ethic, honor. These are things that, Paid Forward Network as an organization embodies. And yeah, I mean, look, I know we talked about a limited amount of, those vacations, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. If you're watching this, you donate and you speak to Mr. Rodney, we're going to send you to 4 night, 5 days to Mexico, and it's all inclusive: food, beverage, and your actual stay. And you have up to a year to use it. The only thing you got to pay is your taxes and, of course, your flight whenever you're ready. But we cover the food, we cover the beverage, and we cover the stay. It's a value of $3,000 for you doing just what you should be doing without any giveaways. But we like to
Right?
ethically bribe you, if you will.
You know what I've
So,
seen in this alley the
yes.
most? The people that have so far. I'm not saying it's going to always be this way, but so far, the people with the least give the most. The people with the most give the least. It's mind blowing, mind blowing.
No, it's well, goes back to God's way, right? I remember. and I'm paraphrasing when it comes to scripture, and Jesus was talking to the disciples, and he expressed how it is hard for those with wealth to actually enter the kingdom of God. And it was Andrew who said, "Are you saying rich people won't be able to?" Like, no, it's fascinating how he or she who has so little does so much for the kingdom of God. But then those who have a lot, they have a hard time parting ways with their possessions, right? Like they're scared of losing it, and it develops a mindset of hoarding things and not giving and not assisting and not helping. So it just kind of goes back to that kingdom way of doing things, as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Where's your next stop? Because I know you're on the road a lot. Where are we expecting you to be in the next couple of weeks?
I will be back in Western North Carolina,
And
um, and I'll be
uh,
there probably until after the first of the year for sure.
because that's home, or because there's a lot of work to be done.
No, that's where the majority of the work is needed right now. I've made commitments to people up there, so I'm going to be there for them. Once as campers come in, we go get them. Again, that's a whole process that people don't realize. A used camper is a whole process to go through it, clean it, make sure it's in good working order. The AC works, the heat works. Not that they need air conditioning right now, but it'll be summer soon. Um, the stove works. That there's no roof leaks. There's no rotten floors. The bathtub works. There's a lot to go through and make sure it works. When you get an older camper, 'cause everybody thinks their camper is in top notch shape, and when in reality they haven't used it for 2 or 3 years. Well, it was good when you put it away,
Yeah,
but things happen when things sit.
yeah. No, without a doubt. Well, uh, we love to connect the world with you. We're gonna do everything in our power to connect the world with you. I know that many who are watching and listening to this, you've heard the testimonial, you've seen the videos, you've heard direct reporting from the sites that Mr. Rodney had shared with us so far. And please go to that website in your screen. Again, we're going to be giving away 4 night, 5 day vacation to Mexico for those who assist. And if you say how many vacations that we have, well, we got as much as we can have and can give, but it's the holiday season. Let me even do I have your permission, Mr. Rodney, to sweeten up the pot a little bit?
Sure. Let me say something first.
Yeah, please.
Don't send in $1 expecting a $3,000 vacation.
Exactly.
I'm going to deny it right off rip. Keep your dollar.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna give us the first name, last name, and email where we're gonna send it. So, but here's what I would say. Um, you know, Mr. Rodney's gonna let me know, and if he says, "Hey, I got a family who donated, and I need 2 vacations, meaning 2 separate rooms that's gonna cover a couple and a couple, like meaning like a friends that want to travel together or in-laws that want to travel together," we'll honor that as well.
That's
And
awesome.
again, you just gotta cover your taxes. Just for those who may be wondering, taxes are usually $200 to $250 for the full 4 nights, 5 days, unlimited food, unlimited drinks, unlimited, access to the resort where you're going to be. It's not a timeshare. We don't sell your information. We don't reach out or call you afterwards. Enjoy yourself, enjoy your life, and make some memories. But to Mr. Cole's point, don't be sleazy. You want to do God's work, do it the right way, or don't do it at all.
Right.
So I definitely look forward to getting that list from you, and we'll assist and help and give away. Any final remarks for anybody that is watching, listening, whether there is somebody that is dealing with addiction, mental health, from a first responder to veterans, or anybody who wants to help and has no idea how to help? Any final remarks?
But first of all, what I like to say is if you're on the fence of whether God loves you or not, walk into your local church, become one with God, and your life will turn around instantly. Your church will help you. If you find a church that don't help you, reach out to me. I'll find a church in your area that will help you. Start becoming active with your church. I requested a local church to do this interview, and that's where I'm sitting. I'm sitting in a local church right now. They absolutely said, "Come on in." What was the last part of your question, Ali? Sorry, I forgot.
And for those who want to, who may be dealing with addiction issues and whatnot, and or those who want to help and they still don't know how to move the needle for themselves, because there's a lot of people who are broken, and maybe they skipped a lot of what we talked about today. give that one last word to that one person. Take the first step, pick up the phone, go to a website, go to an organization, get the help that you need. And for the person who wants to help and don't think that they're going to make much of a difference, what is your message to those individuals?
To the addiction part of that, go and that's something I need to do. I haven't done that to my website. I have the veterans hotline on there, which you can still call that number. I'm sure. I don't know. I haven't called it. They have an addiction counsel there, but I will get the addiction hotline number up on the website. If you have an addiction issue, reach out to them. They will help you through it. I've seen it firsthand. They will help you through it. And if depending on where you're located, contact me. I'll try and help you find a local addiction facility in your area. Send us an email, and we'll do our best to help you with that. For anyone that wants to help and become a part of the organization, we'd love to have you as a part of the organization. If you're another organization that's like-minded like we are, reach out. We'll connect. Anybody that we connect with that becomes a partner with us goes as a partner on our website. As long as they stay active and actively helping us with our missions, and we're actively helping them with theirs, we everybody gets showcased that way. It's the best we can do as a nonprofit. Uh, so we'd love to have you if you want to come on board.
Absolutely. And I know, we talked about this. 10% of our proceeds are going to go to assist your organization as well. We'll make sure that, anybody that needs to help, we're going to do whatever we can to provide the assistance needed. And we're praying that we can be a long-term assistant resource to you and to the organizations.
We appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. That's the least. Look, my
One other
brother.
thing,
Yeah, please.
you get put on an interview, you kind of forget things.
You're okay.
If you're a landowner or a building owner, a homeowner, and you would like to donate that home, depending on where you are in the country, I don't mean donate it, give it away. Donate it, for a period of time, be it 1 year, 3 year, 5 years. We'd love to be able to put some veterans in those homes. Again, we're not asking you to give away your home or your property, but if you would lease it and, you know, free of charge would be awesome. For these veterans, that is one way we can get veterans off the street quickly. Or if you have an apartment building with one empty apartment and the rest of them are filled, and you're making your mortgage and you're making a little bit of money, and you can donate one apartment, maybe a 2 bedroom apartment for a veteran. There's lots of ways to network and make this homelessness situation for our veterans and first responders go away if we just put our mind to it and come together.
That is absolute factual. And by the way, we are in the United States of America, that is supposed to be the wealthiest nation in the world. We got to be ashamed of ourselves to even have homelessness, but specifically amongst veterans and first responders, we got to do our part. So
Amen.
make sure you visit payitforwardnetwork.com.
Boom.
.org. I apologize. Pay it
Too many
forward.
.coms out there.
Payitforwardnetwork.org. And for our direct network, our audience, for the ME studios, I'm pleading with you to do your part. I'm pleading with you to assist. My brother served in the United States Army. Rich Tomes, our chief production officer behind the equipment in here, he has served as well in our military forces. And I can go on and on and on and on for everybody that in my dad, my grandpa. So this is a personal matter. This isn't just a feel good matter, right? So make sure you do your part, because we certainly are going to do ours. We're giving away vacations. We're giving away 10% of our proceeds to assist payitforwardnetwork.com. So I'm expecting you to do your part. .org. I keep saying .com. Take that pledge with us. Take the pledge with us and do your part. So Mr. Cole, thank you so much for giving us the privilege and the opportunity. And until next time.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We'll talk to you soon. Honor the heroes among us with the Pay It Forward Network. Pay It Forward Network is committed to making a difference in the lives of first responders and veterans who have selflessly served our communities and country. Your donation to Pay It Forward Network helps fund essential programs that provide support, resources, and opportunities for these brave individuals. From education, scholarships, to mental health services, your contribution empowers our heroes to build a brighter future. Join our movement of gratitude and compassion. Visit payforwardnetwork.org to see how your support can make a lasting impact. Together, we can give back to those who have given so much. Pay it forward to a hero today. Visit payforwardnetwork.org and see how you can help.